Jax, we'll start with you. When you get on first of all, how do you get on a streak like that? And once you get on it, you just want the ball time and time again? Are you telling those guys to give you the ball?
Do I tell them to give me the ball? No. Just kind of throughout the fluidity of our offense. Finding spots. There was action there in the second half. Got downhill drive, threw out to Chuck. Chuck penetrated and kicked it back out to me. That's just kind of natural playing basketball, finding the open spots and, just being ready.
Steve up front. Mike, please.
Just again for Max, just what's it like being going on the floor each day, knowing you're in this kind of groove? And have you ever been on any kind of shooting groove like this, even like in rec league as a kid, anything like that, or is this the first for you?
No, I mean, I scored, I think, pretty well in high school a little bit, but that's a total different game than a college game. But really, just doing what's ever asked for me each and every night, whether that's, running around chasing a shooter, best player, helping out a little bit offensively, just, trying to play my role and do whatever's asked of me.
Jeff.
Chucky, since it's your job to get the hot shooter the ball, these last 4 games, what have you seen from Max, beginning with tonight, but also going back to Ohio State, where he had 18 in the second half, just the way he's helped carry this offense in this recent stretch?
For sure. It's real easy to find Max. He moves so well without the ball. Like he said, I was dribbling back down, and I just hear him calling, and he's wide open in the corner, so it's easy to find him. He's so easy to play with. I love playing with Max. When he's feeling hot like that, he doesn't even have to say anything. I know to give him the ball. So I love playing with Max. I love playing with everybody on this team, and I think we have great potential.
Go ahead in the middle out.
Hey, Max. You had 26 today, your career high with the Badgers, one lower than your career high overall. Did you kind of know that kind of going into that last sequence? And what does that kind of mean for you, coming here, your hometown, and then having this type of performance here?
I don't look at the scoreboard or like the points, but it's kind of cool, I guess. Just really care about winning the game. Almost kind of let it slip and get it into single digits there at the end. So, just taking care of it, playing the full 40 minutes of the game. Kind of got a little lackadaisical there in the second half as a team defensively. Gave up a lot of points, but, moving forward, some will be better.
Michael?
Steve, you assisted on half the threes tonight. I guess, is that ideally the way that you guys want to set up the three-point offense, kind of run it through you in the high post and in the paint?
Oh, I think kind of like Plez said, we kind of just run our offense in the flow of the offense, and that's just how it happened to be how it ended up today. And guys like Max were knocking down their shots, and that obviously helps the assist numbers for sure.
Jim.
Max, before that stretch of, I think you had points in a span of less than 5 minutes, you missed one, and I couldn't tell if it got, from our angle, if it got tipped or if that just came off your hand wrong.
Which one?
It was right before that stretch where you couldn't miss. Yeah, was that?
Both of them got tipped.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I don't know if he touched it, but I didn't feel like I was missing that short. But
that's what I felt like. I just didn't know if it came off your hand wrong. Yeah.
No, I might have gotten tipped, but just got to play through it, I guess. Maybe shot fake next time. Get downhill a little bit more.
Jeff in the back.
For Steven, you guys are coming off the Penn State loss, and you guys didn't get off to the best start today. 3 turnovers in the first 8 possessions, missed some shots. What was the key? Was it Blackwell coming in to settle you guys down? Because I think he gave you guys a spurt of 7 points.
Yeah, no, I think all those guys off the bench did a great job. Whether it was Gilly running the floor, Klez found him a few times, or getting a few buckets, or Cam running all over the floor. I think all those guys off the bench did a great job bringing that energy when we didn't really start the game with it, and that definitely helps us starters get going too, for sure.
Michael?
Chucky, you've obviously been facilitating at a high level this year. How do you and Steven kind of play off of each other, spreading the ball around that way?
Yeah, for sure. We just kind of play basketball. It's just the flow of the game. Whether in the flow of our offense or, I'll kick it back out to him and shoot a 3, or I come back and get it. We just play off each other very well. And, he's one of the best bigs in the country, I believe. So it's easy to play with him. He has such an IQ for the game. And, yeah, he's one of the best bigs in the country.
Right in the back. Appreciate it.
Max, you talked about not looking at the scoreboard. Did you even realize that you had dropped 20 straight points, I believe it was? And for Steve and Chucky, kind of in addition to that, after that, I guess, did you realize that first?
No, I really do not look at like the individual spot in the scoreboard. I usually just look at the little thing that goes around the whole arena that's got like turnovers, steal, like percentages. But I think me and Chuck looked up at it in the first half, saw Galloway had 2, so I had to check that. But that was the only time I looked up at the big jumbotron.
And for Steve and Chucky, what's that like when a guy's on that hot of a stretch like that?
Yeah, it's real. It gets everybody hyped, man. We love to see it. You know, it could be any guy on any different night. The past couple of nights has been Max. So, you know, we love to see that from Max. We love the confidence that he's really got going right now. And, you know, if we could keep that for everybody, you know, we're going to be a really tough team to beat down the stretch.
Jim.
Max, do you think you get under opponents' Do you think you get under opponents' skin? And is there any part of you that enjoys that a little bit?
I mean, I think it's just kind of within the game, things that happen within the game. You know, nothing's ever intentional, personal. It's, you know, competitive spirit out there playing basketball. But, you know, that's something that kind of, yeah, with the chip I play on my shoulder, I guess some guys can kind of look at that as super aggression, maybe a little out of control. But, you know, it's, in my mind, it's nothing ever that's out of my control. It's always, you know, kind of just the way I play.
Beautiful.
Go ahead in the middle.
Chucky, defensively, last game it seemed like you guys struggled a little bit with the guards. Today, though, you guys had pretty high intensity on their guards, got a couple of turnovers and things like that. Just defensively this year, do you think, you know, your offseason work has allowed you to be more active defensively, and also how is that kind of translated to the rest of the team?
You know, it definitely does. We are still poor on defense tonight. You know, definitely in the second half. First half we were good. Second half we weren't good at all. So, you know, there's definitely major tweaks we gotta fix on our defense. You know, teams are starting to find our flaws, so we gotta start fixing that up. And you know, we definitely will. We're gonna get to it next time we practice, and you know, we're gonna be better, and you'll be able to see the more improvement the next game.
Jeff, go ahead.
Max, getting back to the reserves and what they've given this team, I mean, you can look at the stat sheet and you can see what they're given, but how much does it help, I don't know, maybe to allow you guys to relax on the bench knowing that if they come in, maybe there's not going to be a drop-off and you're not going to lose a lead, or maybe they're going to expand on the lead, to keep the starters fresh both physically and mentally?
Yeah, you know, like you said, just that's a credit to their work ethic, you know, coming in every day, pushing us 5, pushing one another. And then, you know, it's a direct correlation in the box score with John, Cam, Gilly, and Nolan all with over 13 plus minus. So I think that's just a credit to them, you know, keeping their head down, you know, waiting for their moment to be called, staying ready so they never got to get ready type of deal. So it's just kind of a credit to, you know, the mentality they've approached it with, and, you know, the spark they've given off the bench. It's been great across the board for everyone.
Hey, Greg, some of your players were not shy about giving credit to a few players off the bench, but specifically, how did John and then Cam defensively kind of provide a spark after a little bit of a slower start tonight?
Yeah, I thought the whole bench really, those, you know, Nolan, John, Gilmore, Cam, gave us some good first and second half. I thought they got us going in the first half, and I thought, you know, we really extended the lead with those guys on the floor in the second half. So they, you know, that's the, as we've seen and talked about before, that's been the unique part and the fun part about this team, is that we can go relatively pretty deep and really keep our foot on the gas.
Jeff?
Greg, you talked about Max becoming more comfortable last year as the season went on. And I know you guys were excited when he transferred here, and you know what you get out of him defensively and toughness.
Right.
Did you see this potential in him offensively at any point?
No. I mean, he's obviously extremely confident. He's worked on his game, though, too. He's gotten better. He's better physically. He's quicker. You know, he's changed his body in the positive way. And I think that's in the confidence, I think, for him, you know, that started, you know, late last year and blossomed into the offseason, and obviously it's showing now, too.
Michael?
Steve assisted on half of the threes tonight. Obviously, you know, you guys hit 10 of them. I guess when you hit threes at a high level, I mean, do you expect Steven's assist numbers to be up just based on how the offense
Depends.
runs?
I mean, it's, you know, we play through him or play through anybody in the paint. The credit goes to him for, obviously, you know, he's extremely skilled and at that size, and, you know, and sometimes too unselfish in terms of, you know, when they do send double teams, or tonight it was more of a dig and a raid. That I think sometimes he could still get into his move and make the play himself, but his ability to pass it, it's at that size, and he's calm. He doesn't get rattled when pressure comes around him and bodies are near him. So, and then guys got to make shots too. So I would say credit to the guys that were banging down the shots.
Jim?
Greg, Max had 20 straight points in
they told me that afterwards.
5 minute
I wasn't
span.
keeping
I suppose
track.
I suppose you don't recognize that game. You've been around here for a long time. Do you remember anything like that stretch?
Were we giving up 20 straight on the other end too?
Did it feel like it?
Yeah. I was more concerned with the other end than what was going on in our offensive end. I don't know. It might take me a while to look through. You should ask Patrick and some of the media people that has done that. Maybe one of my assistants, Kirk Penny, he go on a roll. I'm just pulling names out of the air. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you, Jim.
That's fine. Can I follow up on that? Because you did mention defense. What's your concern level with?
I just think we get, and that's the blessing of and the curse of having a team that can score. Does not that we don't emphasize the defensive end, because we do. But I think when you're rolling offensively, is there a maybe a lull, or you're, I don't want to say baited, but you kind of step off the gas or take your foot off the gas a little bit. I thought first half we were pretty good, but second half it looked like an NBA All-Star game at times, both ways. But we have to tighten up. We have to be better, and I talked to them about that after the game. It's great that we can score, and we have a lot of pieces and a lot of weapons and depth. But if they want to go where they say they want to go, and what we've talked about and accomplish, we have to become more complete, specifically on that end.
Right over here, then, Steve. Can you?
Greg.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy streaks in sports. I don't know if it's the cold weather, the snow, but Indiana has not won in Madison since 1998. What's the mysterious about this place that you guys dominate them like you do here?
I don't know if there's anything mysterious or here. I think we've had good teams. I think you look at 98 was what, Dick Bennett, right? At that point in time. So, just look at the 25 so years since then, and even before that, we've had really good teams, and I think that's what always makes a place a tough place to play, is the players that are in the other uniform. So I think the credit goes to our players and the players of the past. I don't talk about that. I didn't bring it. I never bring it. Heck, these guys weren't even born in 1998. They didn't know who Kirk Penny was when he came back. It's like guy played before they were born or when they were in diapers. So, it's like I said, I think the credit goes to the players that have played and the job they've done.
We'll go Michael, then Steve.
You obviously mentioned Kamari earlier. He took a couple bad falls, I guess. Did you see what happened there? And
the first one I saw a little bit, and then the second one I didn't see because it kind of went off the end of the court. He's a little banged up, but it sounds like he'll be okay. I don't know when that will be, but it's preliminary reports are everything will be okay. Maybe, I don't know how long he'll be out or if he'll be out, but we'll see as time goes on.
Right in the middle, Coach.
Coach, in the offseason, when we talked about pace, you mentioned the value of efficiency. Today, 1.44 points per possession over the last 5, over 1.2. When you envisioned this offense, was this the type of efficiency you were expecting, or has it kind of exceeded your expectations?
Well, I don't know if I wouldn't have said 1 point. It's 1.42, right? Isn't 91 on 64 1.42? Or is it 4.4? If it is 4.4, then my ops guy's math is bad because he told me 1.42. I think what we wanted to eliminate was the dry spells, the empty possessions, where we'd go, 5 or more possessions. Now I try to track anything more than 3, or we get to 3. We start to dissect why and what do we need to get to break that streak. And in order to do that, you have to have really good players. You know, I'm not naive to think that it's all coaching and scheme. It's really good players that are unselfish. I think our depth helps that because guys can stay fresh, and you saw we have some punch off the bench too. But like I said, it's just trying to minimize the dry spells and maximize getting good shots all the time, not having those stretches of looking like we're, walking, running in mud and those things. So I don't know if there was any number put on it. We just wanted to eradicate as much of the dry spells as we could.
In the back, Coach.
Yep. Hey, Coach. A lot of unique bigs in this league. What kind of growth have you seen from Malik Reneau from year one to year two, and what kind of player do you think he can become in the Big Ten?
Big jump from year one to year two. I thought you remind me a lot of Trace Jackson Davis when I was watching film. I know he studied under him last year and probably had to bang on him every day in practice, and they played a little bit together, but a lot of the same, lefty, strong, but it really has improved his body. I've seen the before and after when he was a freshman to where he is now, and he's obviously done a lot of good things physically to put himself in that position, and they find him a lot, and he's a handful because he's quick, he's powerful, so it's and you can't completely back off him because he'll shoot a three here and there. So I said he's a really good player. I think the jump he's made from year one to year two is a huge credit to him and their staff.
Go ahead.
Entering today, you guys led the Big Ten in free throw percentage at 77%. You guys are averaging a little more than 20 per game. What have you seen kind of from your guys in terms of attacking and how they've gotten to the free throw line, and how has that kind of evolved your offense as well?
Yeah, I think some of it's some scheme situations where guys are able to have, options to attack, whether it's baseline rips that, Storr and Blackwell get a few of those. Klesmit gets them once in a while. Playing through the post. I mean, you draw fouls by, touching the paint and trying to minimize mid-range jump shots. We had a few tonight, but you try to minimize those, so you want paint touches and threes. And then again, I'll go back to the efficiency piece. You have to have good players. I mean, and I've got, a lot of good players that can put pressure on a defense from a lot of different ways, and they're fun to coach.